Ladies and gentlemen, it is a big day. Today is the closing date for my wife and I's new house. Psych. It's actually not today, it's Monday. But it was going to be today up until about a week ago when the sellers decided, hey, we're not ready to move out, we need to push it back. And some of you out there might be saying, if you're familiar with real estate or you have you know what goes on in the real estate world. I'm not one of those people. I don't know anything about that. Some of you might say that's not right. I don't think they can do that if you agreed on a closing date. That's true. But I'm pretty sure I asked about that, and when we were given an answer, it was because when we originally sent the offer over, it was for the 19th. They moved the closing date up because they wanted to get out of their house early. Cool with us. We can close early. And then they decided, well, actually, we need a couple more dates because the carpet's not ready in our new place yet. So we had to move ours back. So I guess because it was technically earlier than originally scheduled, they still had all the way up till the 29th to push it back. Whatever. Again, I don't know about it. It was one of those, I guess legally there was nothing wrong with it, but it wasn't necessarily cool for us because we had planned out to have friends and family come help us move this weekend. And now we're moving on a Monday, and my wife teaches. Last week at school, can't ask off, so I'm going to be doing a lot of the moving during the day by myself, making trips there and back in the car, and then most of our stuff we can't move. The bigger stuff can't move to the weekend because none of us have trucks. And I guess we just were too lazy, didn't want to spend the money to pay for a moving truck. So we're moving, and that's going to be exciting. We're going to close on Monday and then start the move. But that's not why I wanted to make the video. I am going to do a little bit of before and after, so you'll see here. And then I'll do a video in the new house, and maybe I'll do one before and after with both. Kind of talk about some stuff, a little bit of combination of the two. But the reason I wanted to make this one today, if you're like me, I struggle with feeling content. And in general, that can mean in your job, with your car, your relationships, everything like that. I struggle with can't talk. I struggle with feeling content at my job specifically, and probably in this house. I guess that's the reason why I'm making this video, because I viewed the last couple places I've lived just as transitional. It's not where I'm going to end up, so I'm not really focusing on it. I'm not enjoying it. It reminds me of the quote from The Office where they're like, I wish there was a way to know you were in the good times before they were over. And, you're always looking back on good times, and you never realize you're in the good times right now. And I really think any of your seasons of life could be considered a good time if you try to look at the good aspects of it. There's always going to be good and bad aspects in any season of your life. That's just how it is. The last couple, I lived out in an apartment for school. That was cool. And then I had lived with my grandparents for a couple months during the summer until I was getting married and moving in with the wife, and living here for the last 2 years. And it's been nice. It's been fun. But definitely for the past 6 to 12 months, we've been focusing on, okay, we're going to start looking at houses or shopping for houses. That has really, especially since then, I was excited moving here for the first couple months, first like half a year to year. But then when we started looking at a house, my focus left this place. And it really hurts when you're not feeling content. It can really rob you of your joy and your happiness because, hey, it's great. Don't get me wrong. Like I said, you need to be looking for your next promotion, your pay raise. That's good. You should have goals in life. You should have things that you want to work for, expectations. You shouldn't just be complacent. That's the other extreme of always being goal-oriented and goal-driven and always looking for the next thing. The other opposite extreme is complacency and just being like, we're good as is. We don't have to change anything. We're fine. And you just stay in one spot, one position your whole life, and you never do anything else, whether you're afraid of comfort or you just afraid of failing or rejection. That is something that I've always been afraid of, is just getting to a point in my life where I don't do anything and I'm so okay with where I'm at that I just have no goals or no aspirations. I'm just coasting for the rest of the life, and I break down and die young, and I'm brittle, and I don't know, something like that. And I really want to fight that. And the way I've been doing that has been focusing on with jobs is, how can I get my next job? How can I go up on the pay scale? How can I get a promotion? How can I get a raise? How can I jump to the next position above me? In the house, okay, we're living here, but this isn't where we're going to live. This is just a temporary home. We're going to get a home, and then, who knows after that? However long we're going to be here is just a 5 to 10 year home, and then maybe after that, a forever home. I'm always looking at what's next, and I say that because I don't want that to be the case when we move to the new home. I want to enjoy it for a good, decent amount of time. Like, yes, at some point, I don't plan on it being our forever home. I don't know, you know, we might have a couple kids. Who knows how we'll outgrow this place or how fast that we got this place so that we would be good for several years and be fine and not need to move again because I, for one, hate moving. My wife's not a big fan of it either. We're ready to just be somewhere for several years and be fine and be able to do our things to our house or whatever, customize it however we want, renovate it. Who knows? Same way with a car. Man, I've had a used car. I got a 2005 Chevy Malibu. It was my first car I got. It was blessed to have, it was kind of cheap, but still got bought for me, so I'm appreciative of it when I was a senior. And I love that. And I loved it for a while. And then I started, okay, well, what's the next car I can get? I'm not going to use this car forever. I've had this car for like 8 years now, and it's had its ups and downs. It's needed a lot of parts fixed or changed. But it's actually worked for, I'd say, 75% of those 8 years, and it's been all right. It's been serviceable. It's most of the time got me where I needed to go. It hasn't been fancy. The paint's peeling on it. The tint is also peeling off now. People, I guess because it's an older car and it's not the greatest, that I've had actually several people ding my car or bump into it or do something when I've been in parking lots for like Walmart or other stores. I'll come back out and I'm like, the heck? And it's a bunch of little things like that. And I guess people think that because I have an old car, because my car's already got dings, that it's just like, oh, well, it's not, they probably don't care. It's not like I'm doing anything big. So I've had a lot of people ding my car and just leave. And I'm not the kind, I'm not particular enough. I don't know. If I had like a really nice sports car, maybe I'd care and put a little more work into it. But I was just like, you know what? It's not a big deal. It's not worth the hassle over. I don't really want to go through all that. It's fine. But I've always been discontent with my car and look, when can I get a nice new car? When can I get a good deal on this or whatnot? And it's made me really discontent and not enjoying the things I have. I've never been a materialistic person, but I have, not in the sense that I want a lot of things or I just want things for the sake of having them. I'm looking for the next upgrade so I can get rid of what I have and move to the next new thing. And that way I can try to like make my life more efficient or be one of those really productive people that look like they're busy and that they have a lot going on or that they've got their stuff together. Ever since I graduated high school, that's been even worse because, you know, I've had older friends that go to like high school reunions and things like that. And, you know, even older people have told me like, that's all it is just kind of checking in and seeing what people are doing after they graduated, who's successful, who's not, who's got kids, who's fat, who's on drugs, all that stuff. And I don't want to be like that. I'm not trying to judge people based on what's happened. Some people have rough situations. Some people have things that they can't help happen to them. Just because someone looks like they have their stuff together in life doesn't mean that they do. Some people have really put together life on the outside and have a lot of deep issues inside. Some people look like a mess on the outside, but like they're happy as can be. They're living life. They're safe, law-abiding citizens that are taking care of themselves. They just might not have a lot to show for it, and that's equally fine, if not better than those people that are faking it. So I don't want to be one of those people. With the new house, I want to really enjoy it. I want to be here for a while. Same with my car. Yeah, at some point I'll get a new car, but you know, be thankful that I have one that runs for the time being. And same with my job. It's not great. Yeah, I might have a couple of my coworkers that may or may not see this. I don't know if they are following me, but I like the job. I like the people that I work with. The people that I work with are really great, and they make it fun. The pay is not why I work there. The perks are I guess nice, but they're not really why I work there. That alone is not keeping me there. Right now, it's just been the people that I work with. I'm very particular about. I've worked a lot of bad jobs with fun, good people, and those are sometimes more fun than the good jobs that did pay better, but were with terrible people that freaking made me want to pull my hair out. Yeah, at some point I'll get a new job, but I just want to be content right now. And so, I don't know, maybe that's other people are dealing with that. They struggle to be content. They're always looking for the next thing. Or maybe you're on the opposite side. Maybe you're so afraid of change or you're afraid of stepping out and taking a risk. Maybe you're being complacent. Maybe you're just not really looking. And hey, that's fine. I'm glad that you're enjoying where you're at. But I think we need to find a medium, a balance, specifically me, of having goals, working towards the goals, and taking actionable steps, practical steps to get towards those goals, while still being able to focus and be happy where you're at. You're not expecting immediate success. I think that, you know, with the way it sounds cliche, I'll probably sound old, like I've already been told I'm unk status, and I don't think unk status is what it used to be, where it was a sign of respect. You were like a LeBron. You were like, well, you're not in your prime, but like you used to be one of the goats. You used to be great. Now it's like, oh, you're just, it's another way of calling someone old, basically. I'm 25. I don't think that's old. I feel like to be unk, you should at least be out of high school 10 years. I've been out of high school, what, 7 years? So I don't really think I'm unk status. Okay. Man, I just, that's the goal of the video. To talk about being content. And I'm thankful for the place I lived in. You know, God bless. He gave us a great place. When me and my wife got married, we needed somewhere to live. We needed somewhere kind of between our two families. This was where we needed it. It was a good, decent price, kind of in the middle of things, next to our workplaces at the time. Really great situation. But time comes, we need something different. We're moving on to the next stage of our life. I can be equally thankful for the place we're at right now. I know there'll be times where I like to look, and in the current time, look at the cons, the negatives. Like, oh, why this place could be better, what it doesn't have that I want, that this place does. These people live here, they get this. And then what happens is I look back on it. I've done it when I lived in college with my friends. Even the couple months I lived with my grandparents. When I lived at the university in my own little single studio apartment. Anywhere I've been, and a lot of jobs too, in the moment, I'm really frustrated. I'm like, man, how can I improve? How can I upgrade? And then I look back on the pros, and I look back, man, I wish I would have appreciated this more. I wish I would have taken this in and spent more time enjoying this, or talked to those people more, or had more of an impact on them. I wish I would have grown closer with them. You know, I wish I would have really had more fun with that aspect of my life, or enjoyed this. So all in all, to say, just don't make the same mistakes I have. Be content. There's nothing wrong. I get your life might not be perfect. Mine is certainly far from it. But I think even in the worst of situations, there's always something optimistic to pull out of that situation that can be learned from, or can be celebrated, and you can still be goal oriented and move towards something. So yeah, that's about it. That's about all I have. So thank you guys. Like I said, I'll do a before and after, so I'll show some more of the new place. Maybe this place when it's finally completely empty, and then the new place when it's empty, and then when it's being filled up and everything's moved in. I have a really nice office setup I've already planned. Tried to kind of plan and organize it out and see. So we'll see how it looks. In the meantime, take it easy. And go watch my Mouse PI for Hire videos. And I need to do my review for that. Okay, guess that's what I'm going to do after this. Thanks, guys. Bye.